Grand Rising, Sagittarius, how are you doing on this good morning? If this is your first time with us, my name is Ashley Indigo. I'm here to see what you cannot see, hear what you can't hear, and feel what you can't feel. And today, Sagittarius, we are going to do the December monthly reading. This is why I hate eyelashes, you know what I mean, on these things or these glue ones, because it always looks like one eye is bigger than the other. Maybe I'm focused on the wrong thing. So yeah, today we're going to go ahead and get into the December reading. Happy birthday, Sagittarius. I know it was your birthday this month. So I'm excited to get into this reading. I'm not a Sagittarius, but my sister is, and it's always fun to see how these things line up, or if these things line up. You know, I ask with the readings, take anything that resonates, but anything that doesn't resonate, you can go ahead and leave. If you have been here with me prior, before, you do understand that God is going to be a conversation. I always bring it back to God. I always tie it into God, because everything is nothing without God. That's just how I like to do things. Now, normally, Saggy, when I do the readings, or if you've been with me in previous card readings, you'll see that I'll use two decks. I use my Light Seers deck, which is just like a tarot deck that I really resonate with. Remember, when we get our decks, make sure that we feel good energy, because decks have energies too. And then I am going to, and then I normally use the loving words from Yeshua, aka Jesus. But you know what? I just felt like I got bored, so let me mix it up. So today I'm going to use my Angels and Ancestors deck. That'll be the second deck I pull from. We all come from somewhere. We all have ancestors. We all have angels. These are just things that we have. And it's not about praying to them. It's about giving thanks to the people before us. It's about recognizing the people before us, knowing what the people before us were about. And if we don't know what they're about, learning what they're about. And then, you know, we all have generational curses. We all have generational strengths, which I want to kind of highlight, because I saw a meme today that highlighted that. And I don't think anybody talks about that too much. We all have generational strength just as well as we have curses. And so, you know, it's like, of course they have a message for us. It's a lineage. We're carrying on a lineage. And sometimes we may need to do things depending on who we come from, where we come from, to kind of balance the scales, because life is all about balance, you know? And then we're going to use the Psychic Tarot, which is the first deck that I'm going to pull from, Sagittarius. And that one, it goes through all the fun things that I like to read. It goes through color, chakras, you know, imagery, numbers, you know, anything that a person can read, it can be read, okay? So, yeah, we're going to get into it. Now, I think the past couple of months I have been doing hours, previews of the hours. Right now, I'm just doing previews of the minis. That's where we pull 3 cards from this deck, 1 from the other deck. And if anyone wants to schedule anything personal, you can always reach out to that email in the description box, as well as all that information. In the spirit of giving and in the spirit of a new year, I think I'm going to have some type of a special coming up. I want to clear out the riffraff energy. I really do. But I don't want to, close my readings off to people who, because for me, it's not really about the money. It's about making sure that there's an even exchange, and it's about making sure that, you know, you have as much skin in the situation as I have in the situation, that we're both kind of in the same energy when we are, you know, discussing how to get clean and clear. So yeah, definitely, I have some type of special. It's looking good for you, Sagittarius. It's looking like you got it together. We'll go with this. Okay. Sagittarius, this sounds about right for you, okay? It's looking good, all right? So, all these cards, it looks like they've got that black border. So these are going to be some big themes that I'm discussing for you in this month of December, all right? So let's go ahead and get into it. The first card that we have here, honey, is the solar plexus. This is the 3rd chakra. This chakra is located about here. So right in the gallbladder area, okay? So, this chakra is about control. It's about having power. It's about having control. For me, it's also about identifying as a sovereign being, identifying as someone who is free. as someone who has power over their own life and doesn't depend on anybody else, just has power and control. So power, standing in your power, affirming your power, knowing who you are, knowing where you come from is going to be a very big theme for you this month. If you're having troubles in this area, there will be a couple things to indicate that. Excuse me. You may have problems with digestion. You may have stomach issues. If anybody has the gallbladder, your gallbladder might be acting up. Anything that has to do with this digestive area, if you are feeling like things have kind of been uneasy, or if you've been feeling sick by the stomach, any of that, then that probably means that your solar plexus energy is low. 3 is also about taking action, not just saying that you want to be about something, not just thinking that you want to be about something, but actually doing it. 3 is making sure that what we think lines up with what we say, lines up with what we do. It's about holding ourselves accountable, okay? So some of you might have to go through an extra effort this month to hold yourself accountable for the things that you do, or I feel like you might have some dreams, some goals, something that you're wanting to pursue. And up until this point, you've only been actually talking about it. You haven't been putting in the work. One thing that's really powerful when we talk about God and we talk about him wanting our heart's desires, and we talk about him wanting us to succeed. Part of that is realizing that we have a part when it comes to our relationship with God. A lot of people will say, okay, well, ask and you shall receive. And that's true. Part of that is true. The other part of that is making sure that you do your part. In the duet that we have, it's all about finding balance with the relationship that we have with our Creator, our Father. When we think about asking, you shall receive, that does not mean that we should just ask and expect to have. That means that, say, you want to be someone in music. Say you want to be someone who does music, someone who writes music, okay? Well, first you have to think that thought. You have to get clear on your intention. You have to get clear on what it is that you want to do, Sagittarius, which I know is no problem for you, because you guys, when you make a decision about something and you decide that you want to do it, the one thing that I love about Sagittarius is you decide that you're going to be the best at it. You're not just going to do it. If you're going to do it, you're going to fucking do it. And we see that bleed out into your work life a lot. And we may see that bleed out into your personal life, but I don't think that, the energy is as strong. The same energy that you give when you do things in your business career life, I feel like you don't carry that same energy when it comes to your personal life or maybe your relationships. But anyways, you think the thought and you decide, okay, this is what I want to do. Then you get the strength to start talking about it, because we have to talk these things that we want, Sagittarius. We have to talk them into reality, okay? So say you start talking about it. I'm going to make music. I'm going to do music. and you thought it, and now you're saying it. Well, sometimes, and like I said, I don't necessarily think this is in your career area, Sagittarius, but I feel like sometimes there's no follow through, because you have not convinced yourself in your personal life. So this may be in relationships or just in your home life or your friend life. There's no follow through. It's almost like that last moment, you don't feel like you can live up to what you just said. And I don't think it's because you try to be mischievous, or I don't think it's because you try to get shady. I feel like you're not solid in your decisions when it comes to anything outside of work. Does that make sense? I feel like you're really being called by God to step into your power. I feel like even though you've reached amazing heights, maybe when it comes to career or anything that has to do with money, you're still struggling to show up in your personal life. Okay? Now, I feel like you guys have dreams. I feel like you have hopes, and then I feel like you have your career, but I don't feel like it's one and the same. I feel like you have your career and you're good at work, but then I feel like you have your dreams and your goals and you are not showing up for yourself. You're not convinced 100% that you are capable of doing what it is you dream. And I don't think it's that you don't believe in yourself, Sagittarius. I think it's a money issue. I'm just going to say, I think it's a money issue, because I know that you guys like security. And I think for you, it's like, okay, well, how am I going to afford this? And how am I going to afford that? And when we start asking those questions, well, when you start asking those questions, Sagittarius, then you start to panic. Then you start to freak out, because where am I going to get the money? Blah, 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 yada, 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 yada. Okay, slow down. And first things first, I need you to understand that God does not make anything that he does not have intention to take care of. There is nothing that he creates, just like the birds. Do you see the birds running out here worried about a mortgage? Do you see the birds running out here trying to get a house? Now, yeah, a lot of people would argue that we're more intellectual than the birds because their brains are like this small, but it's the whole point of, just like the birds have that intuition. Okay, the same intuition that we all have, that every animal, that everything that God created had, just like we all have that intuition, the bird trusts their intuition, because the intuition is the part of us that's connected to God. So the bird knows, okay, in the wintertime, it's time to head south. Just like, okay, when it warms up here, they know, okay, it's time to head back up north. That's their intuition. They trust that. They're not going to do the human thing and say, oh, well, I think I'm just going to stay up north with the snow. I'm just going to stay up here. No, they go because they trust that it's time to go. They trust that pull. They trust that intuition. And whereas the Sagittarius is the sage child, I mean, you pick up on energies just anyway. You're still not trusting your gut 100%. I say, if doing your part so God can do his was a 3-step part, okay? And the only parts that you are the only parts that you're privy to, the only parts that are important to completing whatever it is, you've got the thought process down because you know who you are. You have the talk down because you're blunt and you're going to speak it, but we're still waiting for you to show up and show out. Basically, we're still waiting for you to show us who God created you to be. Does that make sense? We have sense of who you are because of what you show us, but you have not shown us the creative part of yourself. You're not being as creative as you should be, Sagittarius. I feel like the creative wells are dry, and if the creative wells are dry, then the sexual wells are probably as dry. I did learn a little bit of information that the more creative energy we have, the more sexual energy that we have, because it's all coming from a creative place. See, when we think of what it means to create, God created us to create. And one really easy way that humans love to create is procreation, sex. Okay, that's one form of creation, and we were created to create. So when we have sex, we create a child, okay? But on a smaller scale, anything that we do, anything that comes from our brain, anything that we put our effort into, we can create. So, like I said, if you have no creative energy, you're probably not having a lot of sex. If you're not having a lot of sex and you don't have a lot of sexual energy, then you probably don't have a lot of creative energy. It's one and the same, okay? I feel like with the 3 energy, it's also, it's also a point of, or just a reminder that you are a 3-year-old. Just because you've grown, just because you've mentally evolved, does not mean that inside of you there is still not a 3-year-old part. The 3-year-old part, and at this point we should all know this, Sagittarius, is the inner child. The 3-year-old side of us is the part of us that's connected to God. How do you know that's the part of us connected to God? Well, when you read the Bible, Jesus straight up told his disciples, they said, who are the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? He looked over at the child. He looked over at the children. He said, this right here, this is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? So, in order to get into heaven, you have to be like a child. How do I stay as a child, Ashley, even though I'm a 25, 30-year-old adult? Well, How do we stay like a child? We stay light in heart, light in spirit. We forgive because that's what children do. And we don't hold any grudges, you know? And then there's the wiser part of us, now that we're an adult, that just can figure out the things mentally that a child is not able to figure out. This life is all about coming here, being a child, going through fucked up shit, because I'm sorry, when you're born into sin, anything can happen. This ain't God's world, okay? When you're born into sin and things happen here, you still, even though things hurt, we have self-healing bodies. So there is a part of us, especially after 18, that is expected of us to heal and then take those very painful things that happened to us as a child, to learn from them, to grow from them, and use that stuff in combination with our adult mind. This is why the heart and the mind are connected, because this is what keeps us childlike, our heart. And this is what gives us the wisdom, the ability to attain wisdom over time, the mind. So when I tell you that God created the heart and the mind to work in unison, it's because as we move through this everyday life, Sagittarius, we are supposed to have the heart of a child always. We are supposed to, well, a healed person, but the point is, we are supposed to have childlike hearts, childlike essence, but the wisdom of an adult. So I feel like, Sagittarius, you are not spending enough time with your 3-year-old. I feel like this is just usually a 6. When we see 6 energy, that's okay. Like, okay, we need more love, we need more growth, we need more. But when we see a 3, it's like, boom, here I am, I'm 3 years old, and you're not being you. You're being the you that you trained yourself to be, Sagittarius. But where's the you that's childlike? Where's the you that's 3 years old? Where's the you that likes to play Twister? Where's the you that likes to play Candyland? Where are you? Where's the childlike part of you? Because I feel like you're not showing up for fear, which we're going to see in a couple cards, but I feel like you're not showing up. Now, how do we enhance this yellow color? How do we enhance this almost goldish, yellowish color? How do we enhance this solar plexus energy, Ashley? Well, we wear more yellow, okay? We wear more of the color yellow. We eat more yellow, not artificial yellow, but like a banana or, what's yellow? A yellow bell pepper or plantains, or we eat more yellow, okay? Because here's the whole idea, okay? Everything is energy. Everything has a frequency. So if I'm yellow, if this is the color yellow right here, a yellow ball, okay? This yellow ball carries a certain frequency. It carries a certain energy, okay, that it's assigned to per the universe. This is the energy, this is the frequency of yellow. Now, if I put a yellow shirt on, and this is yellow, and that's yellow, now I'm matching frequencies. If you understand anything about a radio or how a radio works, when we're looking for a radio station, we have to match the frequency, okay? When we have to kind of try to understand energy, because energy is God. God is the ultimate energy. Everything is energy. And when we understand energy, we understand, and our minds are able to capture how it works and how to manipulate it, okay? Because we're made in God's image, so we can do this, okay, Sagittarius? So, it's like a radio when you try to find a frequency. Okay, so now that I'm wearing a yellow shirt and I've got this yellow ball of light, now we are the same frequency. Now we are matching each other. So now that we're matching each other, I emit, my state of being is now yellow. Because I've got the yellow frequency, I've got the yellow energy, and that's all about power. So when we're matching frequency, if this is yellow, and this is having strong will, having self-confidence, feeling in control, knowing my power. If I'm wearing a yellow shirt and this is what yellow means, now I'm matching this frequency. So when I'm matching this frequency, my yellow, the yellow that I attain, now it can brighten up. Because I'm feeding myself, I'm feeding into that energy, I'm matching that frequency. And that's what it's all about when we think about chakras and we think about the colors, we think about frequencies. If no one is aware of what chakras is, I feel like I'm going to have to do a chakra video so everyone kind of understands what chakras are and understands what chakras are about. But you can always, I'm big on telling people, like, do your own research, look up your own information, because seeking you will find. That's my favorite, Matthew 7:7. If we're seeking out the information, God in the universe has no choice but to give us that information, but you have to seek it out, okay? So anyway, Sagittarius, I feel like we have to just work more on being in our power, okay? And I feel like, how do we get in our power? We get in our power by stepping in and playing with our 3-year-old, by using our creative energy, okay? We need to start being more creative. I don't think you're being as creative as you need to be. When we're creative and when we're lighthearted and when we act like children, not only does it affect us personally, but as being everyone part of in humanity, we're all humans, it affects us on a level of humanity, because when one of us is creative, we all feel like we can be creative. Ooh, hands itching. When we all feel like we can be creative, now we're showing the children something, okay? We have to understand, Sagittarius, everyone has to understand, it's not okay to talk about how the children of today are, but yet we're the adults. They're just children. It's not okay to talk about children of today if us as adults aren't doing anything to change it. That just makes us a hypocrite. And I don't know about y'all, Sagittarius, but I don't like to be a hypocrite, okay? Second card, 7. Okay. Couple things about 7. 7 is the crown chakra, okay? So where we were just talking about this energy right here, we skip over the heart, skip over the throat. Well, the throat is the mouth chakra. Skip over the third eye, straight to the crown chakra, okay? The crown chakra is represented by the purple color. Purple is the color of royalty, but also 7 is God's favorite number. So anyone's ever read the Bible or looked in the Bible, the number 7 is in there like a jillion, kabillion times. 7 is God's favorite number. When we look at 7, we like to think of an increase in spirituality, an increase in our relationship with God. When I say spirituality, that's what I mean. Relationship with God. Because he's from the spiritual world, the spiritual realm. He's a spiritual being. So when I say spiritual, I'm talking about our relationship with God, okay? 7 represents a relationship with God. 7 also represents rewards. 7 also represents good news, good luck, good job when we see 7, okay? I feel like, Sagittarius, your relationship with God has been increasing, because some point along this spiritual journey within the past year, I even want to say within like the past 7 months, I want to say the past 3 to 7 months, you have had an increase in your relationship with God. So I feel like you've seen some things that have changed your mind. Like, Sagittarius says you guys are very factual people. You like the facts. And I feel like your relationship with God has increased on the basis that you've actually seen him work recently. Whereas you may have known about God. You may have heard about that guy named God. You might have heard about our Father. Maybe you believed he was there. But it was one of those things where you didn't believe till you believed. Now you really believe because you done seen some shit or heard some shit or experienced some shit. But whereas before it was like, okay, well, maybe God's real. He that's what they say. Now you know. I feel like this knowing has changed the way you think. I feel like this knowing has allowed you to look at some things. I love this cup. The best is yet to come. I feel like these experiences, or this experience, has allowed you to look at things a lot different. Are we talking to God more, Sagittarius? I feel like you're starting to have those conversations with God. I feel like you're starting to seek him out. Good job. Good job. Thank you. When you make smart decisions, Sagittarius, and I know you can make smart decisions. I mean, we know who you are. But when you make smart decisions, Sagittarius, You help everybody. And I know that's what you want to do, because I know that heart of yours. I know it. I know that snug heart of yours. I know you want to help everybody. And I feel like, how can I be the best for other people? How can I do what I need to do for other people? How can I be the best example? I feel like that's something that you're always wanting to do, but you never quite figured out the right answer. Like, how do I show up and be the best for everybody that I can be? When we talk to God, honey, we show up to be the best that we can be, because when we have those conversations with him, he starts to move more in our life, okay? When you acknowledge that you have a great, powerful Father, a great, powerful, beyond measure Father that made you, that wants the same for you, your life will never be the same. It's never the same. Once you start having those conversations with him, you start to realize that, okay, now I'm feeding my soul. I'm not feeding my flesh anymore. I'm feeding my spirit. I'm feeding my soul. And as you feed that soul, you start to realize that the communication lines between you and your Father are getting a little bit clearer. Now, with you being the sage child, and like I said, sage feels energy, and God is the ultimate energy. I know you feel him. I know you feel him talking back. I know you feel the whisper. I know you feel the warmth when you get done talking to him, and that peace moves through you. I know, no, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. I know you feel it. All I can say is good job. Good job, Sagittarius, because as you continue to do this, your life is going to change. As you continue to combine this creative energy with now this increased spiritual energy, your whole world's about to change right in front of your eyes. Because I feel like that combination is very powerful in unlocking your power. You see here with these two side by side, they're interchangeable. Okay? When I see this, Sagittarius, to me, this means that you're starting to realize who you are from a creative standpoint, because once we bring that childlike innocence back with that adult wisdom, now we're whole. And that's God's definition of perfection, wholeness. He wants us to be whole. He doesn't want us to be perfect. He wants us to be whole. How can you be whole? You have to accept the past part of you, the childlike part of you, the one who made mistakes, the one who was doing stuff they had no business doing. You have to accept that part of you. You have to accept that part of you, in combination with your adult like self. And when you know yourself on the whole scale, you know God. And when you know God, you know yourself and you know your power. So I feel like this month you'll be stepping into your power. You'll be realizing how powerful you are, who you truly are. And I feel like it'll definitely be a month of feeling like your shit don't stink. But for this month, it doesn't, okay? If that's what gets you through, and if that's what... And I don't mean this in a way to where you feel like you're better than other people. I just feel like, you know, you got that Nicki Minaj energy. And I only say her because she's the Sagittarius. The kind of energy where she knows she's the baddest bitch. Give credit where credit's due. She's on top of the world. She's going to be the greatest. I feel like you got that type of energy happening for you this month. And it's not a whole lie. It's not a whole lie. But you got to step into that childlike essence to feel that. You know, like I said, when we are a child, we are closest to God. We're closest to God. Okay. I've got a 1-year-old downstairs. He's closer to God than the 3-year-old. Okay. The 3-year-old is 3. He's starting to be influenced by the worldly ways. I can definitely see it. That baby's face don't even look the same. All the baby has come out that 3-year-old's face. You know, he's... Music, I'm kind of strict with. I'm not even going to lie to you. Because I don't want my sons being programmed to be thugs. I'm not even going to lie to you. But shit, the cartoons are bad enough out here in the world, you know. It's, you know, the indoctrination for our children starts as soon as they're born. But the point is, you know, as my 3-year-old grows up, and I have a 13-year-old, you know, she still has prophetic dreams, but she can't hear his whispers, you know, she can't, because she's becoming worldly, you know what I'm saying? And that's why it's so important to stay rooted in our spirituality, stay rooted in God, because as we grow up, even if you don't have children, Sagittarius, but you may be an auntie or you may be an uncle or you know, You may, be a godparent, or one way or another, you are blessed to see beautiful children. It doesn't matter. You're blessed to see children. And it's why we got to stay so firm in our God, so that as these children grow up and as we grow up, we can explain to these children that we got here because of God. Now, what a combination that would be, Sagittarius, to have your hardworking, fiery ass skills, okay, combined with some dope ass work ethic. Wait a minute. That was combined with something that you're passionate about and that shows off your creativity. Wait a minute. And then telling the children that the only reason that you're this good in your creative endeavor, that you are the boss of, is because of God. What type of a world do you think that we would live in if these children knew that you get ahead in life when you put God first? What a world this would be. It would be so different from the place that we live now. So keep having those talks with God, okay? Wear purple. Wear your purple and your gold, because those are royal colors, okay? Because your yellow says, I know who I am. I'm in my power. I know my power. And your purple says, I know who I come from. God is my father. He is love. I am love. We are love. Okay? These two colors, purple and gold, that's why you used to maybe a lot, see the Africans when they would, the royal Africans, they would wear purple and they would wear gold. I mean, colors are very symbolic. Colors say who we are. That's why when we see somebody wearing black from head to toe, we know that they probably got a goth thing on, or they want to look slim. I mean, colors tell you a lot about a person. If we see someone wearing yellow, we know that they're bright. Okay. Keep having clear communication with God. It'll be easier to hear him the more that you continue to talk. I wouldn't be surprised if you already hear him. How does God talk? God talks in numbers. If you know anything about numbers, especially if you see 7 or 777 or 77, that just means congratulations, rewards. The work has been done. You'll be rewarded. He also talks in movies. If you watch a movie and things are just clicking when you watch that movie, okay? He'll use music sometimes. Maybe you won't hear a whole song and you'll just hear a little quote. He'll use words that'll pop up. Signs. I mean, God is so creative. He's so creative because he can do anything. He can manipulate anything. He can manipulate a radio, a song, a light. He can do anything. He could literally do anything. So, just keep having that communication with him, because I feel like the more you seek him out, the more you'll find out. And we are having a great, massive awakening. If no one has been able to tell, we are over the past, ever since all this quarantine shit, we are having a huge awakening, and it has become more noticeable. Like I said, probably within the last 7 months, the awakening has just been on a huge mass scale. So, see, the fact that I've got an eyelash popped up and an eyelash down, it just kind of tells us a couple of things. It tells us that life can't always be perfect, and it tells us that beauty's hard. Because off camera, they don't look like that. Kind of have to roll with the punches, okay? I'm a girl, so don't judge me, y'all. Sometimes I just look how I look. I hate to look crazy, but some shit we can't control, okay? 18. Alright? Sag, this is the shadow. Now, when we see this person wearing gold. They're in their power, but then we see this dark. We see this dark over here, okay? Might be some Scorpio moons in the building. It's not necessarily a bad thing. 18, okay. So when I pulled this card, when I was flipping the cards out, Sagittarius, the very first thing that I felt was you have parts of you that you hide, okay? Because they don't fit into the image that you are trying to show people of yourself. So I don't get like an uptight energy. I just get like a serious energy. Like, why are you always so serious? And does the fact that you're so serious have anything to do with the lack of creativity or the lack of sexuality? Is that it? The fact that you have parts of you that you try to hide, that you don't want anyone to see, for fear of intimacy, fear of judgment, which I don't think you really give a fuck, Sagittarius, but just a little bit. And I feel like this too also because I know that you'll hear people talk about shadow work. Shadow work is just a really dark way to say inner child work, inner child healing. Because, and let me explain this why. Let me explain why to you. Because the inner child is attached to the subconscious brain, the subconscious mind. If anybody's ever done any type of psychological study, if anyone's ever just taking a look at the human brain, there's different parts of the brain that we operate from, and we only use so much of our brain actually, because that's how you know there's evolution happening, because to begin with, the human only uses so much of their brain. I'm pretty sure the dolphin uses more of its brain than us. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said in the beginning of the movie Lucy, that the dolphin uses more of its brain than we do. So the reason that the inner child is in the subconscious is because the subconscious is our foundation. It is the reason, the deep-seated reasons why we do the shit we do. It's everything our parents taught us. It's all it's where our generational curses are trapped pretty much. It's all the things that create the foundation of who we are. It's also the things that turn the light switch off as far as us being beings of light when we were children, okay? So 0 to 7, which also represents the root chakra red, that is the basis of everything that we are, okay? That is when our brain is taking in information. When people say, oh, they're like a sponge. Yeah, they're like a sponge up until 7. Just sucking up information, just sucking up everything you do, everything you say, everything that, Then when they turn 8, pow, a switch is flipped. Now our foundation is laid, our 7-year foundation is laid. Now we're using everything that we've learned in those 7 years to, in combination with our conscious mind as an 8-year-old, to navigate this world. So we're using most of our conscious mind, very little subconscious, because the subconscious we're not aware of till we start training our mind to be aware of our subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is here, but it's the foundation, but we're using our conscious mind. So the inner child is trapped in the in the dark, in the subconscious mind. When we start doing inner child healing or shadow work, aka dark, shadow, subconscious mind, that's when the healing starts, because all the parts of us that we're afraid of, all the parts of us that we don't like, all the parts of us that we don't agree with, all the bad childhood memories, all of it's in the subconscious mind. We compartmentalize and put things in the little boxes and shit, but ultimately it's all in the subconscious mind. And I feel like you, Sagittarius, are afraid to access the childlike mind. There's some memories that you don't want to see, some things that you don't want to remember, but you have to. Some shit you can't remember. But the key to remembering other things from childhood is bringing awareness to the things that you already remember from childhood, okay? Even if it's a smell, even if it is a shirt you used to wear, even if it is a toy you used to play with, even if it is a bad memory that you do remember, even if it's a good memory that you do remember. This is why, see, Satan is so good. Oh, he's so good. Well, God's better. But this is why you got to have a clear mind. Because I used to hear little shit like, oh, you're not supposed to be digging around in your own mind, blah, 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 blah. This is why for the longest time religious people had a problem with like psychologists. This is why, people get all in a tizzy about playing around in your mind. How the hell do you have a brain that you're not supposed to access? Doesn't that sound crazy? That you have a brain that you're not allowed to poke around, your own brain, you're not allowed to poke around in, your own brain. Why would someone put that idea out there that it's not okay to poke around in your own brain. Why? Maybe because they knew that inner child healing or inner child work was the work to being a healed adult. See, people like to say little shit like children are to be seen but not heard. That's a spell we should have never fucking cast, because now children are going missing every fucking day, unseen and unheard. We've really got to be careful about the shit that we say. There's been so many curses put on children, and I'm telling y'all, this is the main reason. This is the main reason why God's going to blow it. This is the main reason why Yeshua's coming back, because people don't understand how precious children are. They don't get it. They just don't get it. He's not making all these tiny little gifts to come here and suffer, learn this sick shit, or be killed the way that they get killed. You've got to be an advocate. I know you like to speak up, Sagittarius, and this is where it comes to a head here. You like to speak up and you like to be blunt and you got to speak the truth. But you're speaking every truth but your own. Every truth but your own. You want to know what I mean? You're so quick to call somebody out. You're so quick to say something about somebody else. And we appreciate that. We appreciate the honesty. But when are you going to say something about yourself, your past, some things that you have to change, some things that hurt you? When are you going to call that shit out? And I'm not saying for the world, but I'm just saying like for yourself. When are you going to speak up, Sagittarius, so we can, so you know what I mean? So that inner child has a voice. Now you've got to use that voice and give your inner child a voice. Now it's time to start sifting through your shit. It's time to start speaking up. And you've already been told the reward is here. Accessing your own power, there's a reward that comes with that automatically. It's a sign. But are you brave enough to do the work? Are you brave enough to look at the past? Are you brave enough to talk to yourself, or if you need to, talk things out with other people about your past? Are you ready to look up memories? Are you ready to access that part? The inner child is not coming home, is not coming out of the dark unless you as an adult go in there and get it. This ain't no Disney fairy tale. Ain't no motherfucking prince galloping up. You've got to do that for yourself, Sagittarius. You've got to be that strength. For so long, I feel like maybe your voice was lost. You know, maybe you weren't speaking as loud. Maybe you were doing other things to do letting other things do the speaking for you. Your makeup, your body, your fashion, your clothes, you know what I mean? Your friends, shit. The way you wear maybe you're letting so many other things speak for you. Maybe your voice was gone for so long. But now it's time to speak up. Now it's time to let the 3-year-old you shine. Now it's time to let the 3-year-old you talk. Now it's time you don't have to be afraid anymore. Now your inner child can come out. We are moving into the big 6, 2022, big 6 energy. That's where we're going. And, in all of this, we've all got to find that place. We've all got to find heaven. We've all got to find that place of bliss. And the only way we're going to get to that place of peace is by letting your 3-year-old self know, hey, you can come out now. You don't have to hide anymore. We can be as creative as we fucking want to. We can paint as much as we want. We can sing as much as we want. We can dance as much as we want. We can do this shit as much as we want. We can be a child as long as we want. We can talk to other children as much as we want. There's no cap on this shit, because now I'm the adult. I am in control. But not only am I an adult who's in control, I'm also a child who wants to rebel against everything that I was told adulthood was. It's okay to have a great work ethic. It's okay to be the best at what you do. It's okay to, show up and show out. But if you're going to have a hard work ethic, if you're going to be the best at what you do, if you're going to show up and show out, do it for God and do it from the heart space, okay? We're not living enough from the heart space. 1, whatever we think, we create. So are you thinking about how you can make money? And who knows? Maybe that'll get you far. Or are you thinking about how you can show up for your community? How you can give something to future generations, to your children or to your nieces and nephews, or, what are you showing them? What are you showing? What reality are you, first of all, what reality are you creating for yourself? What do you think about? Whatever you think about, that's what you're creating. If you're worrying about money, I'm going to tell you right now, you're creating a reality that causes you to worry about money. If you're worried about lack, you're creating a reality that causes you to worry about lack. If you're worried, you're creating a reality that's causing you to worry. You know what I'm saying? It's like, stand in your power and understand that your brain is the most powerful fucking thing that you have, Sagittarius. And 8, you reap what you sow. As above, so below. Whatever you do, you get back. There's no stopping that shit. So, be honest with yourself. Are you still waiting for karma to come slap you in the back? Or do you have good things coming? And if so, how do you know? What you think about is a big part of what we receive, okay? What you put out mentally, you get back physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And that's in the realm you can see and in the realm you can't see, okay? Keep building up your karma bank. How do we build up our karma bank, Ashley? We build up our karma bank by doing selfless deeds. And we're not doing the selfless deeds to get good karma. We're doing the selfless deeds because that's what's best for everyone involved. 1 + 8 = 9. How can I be of service? That's humanitarianism. I feel like doing more good deeds is going to push you closer to your higher self. I feel like you're in a situation of which one are you going to feed? I feel like you fed the flesh, you fed the shadow. Well, no. You fed the flesh, you fed the physical part of you for so long. But you also have to feed the soul. You have to feed the shadow, the child. You have to feed the part of you try to hide. Why? Because you need to create wholeness. You need to create balance within yourself. That is what's best for the greater good of everyone. That is how you show up for your community. That is how you show up for your world. That is how you show up for humanity. Standing in your power, doing things that make you feel good, doing things that make God proud, and doing things that serve the community. By being your best self, we need your leadership role. I mean, we need leadership role. We need your leadership, but we also need for you to direct it to the right place. Okay. I'm going to pull one more card for you. Coming from my angels and ancestors deck. Sweeten the pot here. I like these cards. They're real cool. Ooh. All right. Sagittarius. Let go of the need to be right. Okay. I got this card. I'm going to say the same thing because I feel like it's that same kind of energy. Okay, so peacekeeper. Let go of the need to be right. I feel like we already know you're a matter-of-fact person. We already know you're factual. I feel like you need to relax. This woman on here, now I don't know what they put in peace pipes back in the day. Maybe they put marijuana in it. Maybe they put tobacco in it. Because tobacco actually is not bad for you. It's the additives that they put with tobacco that are bad for you. Just in case nobody knew. You need to calm down. This person, she's got a peace pipe. So she's either smoking a cigarette, which I wouldn't recommend because that's not healthy. But she may have some herbal tobacco. She may have some marijuana in that pipe, okay? You can microdose marijuana. Marijuana, people seem to forget, marijuana is not just to sit around and get high excessively. Marijuana does have healing properties. And one of them is getting somebody to chill the fuck out when they're highly stressed, okay? We're not talking about pothead shit. I represent healing, not any type of, anything that's over the excess. I mean, do what you will. That's your business, okay? But I'm only promoting things that are healing. Healing because that's what it's about for me. healing. So anyways, this person needs to relax and chill. It's not all about being right. I know y'all like to be right, but sometimes y'all need to sit the fuck back and take advice. Sometimes you need to let somebody direct you. Okay, you guys are fiery. Okay, but some things about fire, sometimes fire grabs a hold of shit they have no business having a hold of. Okay, sometimes fire pokes in places it has no business fucking poking. We can't say, I'm not going to sit here and say fire always knows best, because no, sometimes fire needs water to sizzle them down. Sometimes fire needs wind, air to redirect it. Okay, sometimes fire needs earth, dirt to put it out. I mean, I feel like you need to chill out, be more grounded like the earth signs. Maybe spend some time with a Taurus, spend some time with a Virgo, um, spend some time with a Capricorn. I just need you to be grounded, be still, quit being so damn stubborn. Blessed are the peacemakers. How do I become a peacemaker? Know when to keep the peace. Because as you shift, as you start to feel more of this 7 energy, your bluntness, you may speak, you may tell people about certain experiences. They may try to argue you down and tell you, well, that didn't happen, this, that, and the third. Fuck what they say. It's not about being right. It's about knowing who you are and knowing who God is. Okay? Spend more time in silence, spend more time in solitude, and give thanks. Sagittarius, I love you. Have a blessed day.